Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for the new film, The Bikeriders. This is a rated R movie with a runtime of an hour and 56 minutes. Although this just went wide, I think this movie premiered at a few festivals in 2023. So technically it's a 2023 film, but it's not available to the public until now, 2024. As of the recording of this video, we have a Rotten Tomato score of 82%. With an audience score of 78% and a letterbox average rating of 3.5. So everything pretty close by. Even in my own opinion, I think it's very, very close to that. So in this film, after a chance encounter at a local bar, the strong-willed Kathy is inextricably drawn to Benny, the newest member of the Midwestern Motorcycle Club, the Vandals, led by the enigmatic Johnny. Much like the country around it, the club begins to evolve, transforming from a gathering place for local outsiders into a dangerous underworld of violence, forcing Benny to choose between Kathy and his loyalty to the club. This film is directed by Jeff Nichols, who also directed films like Midnight Special and Mud, and it stars Jodie Comer as Kathy, Austin Butler as Benny, Tom Hardy as Johnny. We also have Michael Shannon as Sipco, Mike Feist, who you've just seen probably pretty recently on Challengers as Danny, Boyd Holbrook as Cal, and Norman Reedus as Funny Sonny. So, uh, this when I went into this film, I wasn't sure what to expect other than what I've seen in the trailers. Um, I will say, if you're expecting to go into a Sons of Anarchy type of film, this is not that exactly. There's definitely a lot of crossover because it is all about the motorcycle club culture. But I think this film is very different. This film was inspired by a book that was done by a photographer who spent time with the motorcycle club in the 60s and 70s, just documenting the evolution of the club. That was turned into a book. And then, of course, this film kind of spun out of that inspiration. This film is a raw and evocative exploration of biker culture, capturing a very specific moment in time with a vivid, unflinching lens. Directed with a keen eye for detail and atmosphere, the film takes viewers on a journey through the rough, rebellious world of motorcycle club and gangs, immersing them in the gritty reality of the late 60s. I think one of the standout elements of this film is its breathtaking visuals. The cinematography is nothing short of stunning, whether it's a riding sequence, whether it's just a scene at the bar, or even the conversation between Danny and Kathy. From either from the open roads into the horizon to the intensity of the dive bars, the visuals are just a feast for the eyes, making the era come alive in a visceral and immediate way. At the heart of the film, though, is Jodie Comer's performance and her accent. Oh my goodness. I've heard Jodie talk in interviews recently, and then hearing her on the film, it's night and day. But her performance anchors the entire narrative as she delivers a powerful portrayal of a complex character, bringing depth and nuance to the role. Her ability to convey strength and vulnerability in equal measures adds a compelling layer to the film, making her character both relatable and riveting. I think Jodie Comer's performance anchors the film, and then allows everyone else to really bring a different side to them. I think other characters get to go all out because Jodie Comer's performance is so central to the film. Um, this film unfolds through a series of moments that, while sometimes disjointed, collectively form an entertaining and engaging narrative. This episodic structure reflects the unpredictability and the fragmented nature of the lives of the club, uh, and captures the essence of the subculture defined by its resistance to conformity and structure. This film really embraces all that, allowing it to enhance the overall experience rather than to make the film even worse. We have this narrative of Danny talking to Kathy throughout different times in her life, and her retelling her life through the experience of the club. So I think it's really interesting to go there. This framing narrative of a retrospective interview keeps the tension and the intrigue alive throughout the film's runtime. This storytelling device not only provides context, but also maintains a sense of forward momentum as the audience pieces together the past through the eyes of the present. I think it's a very clever technique that adds depth and resonance to the film, for the exploration of the memory and identity, and how we choose to highlight some moments that are very important to to our everyday lives. Um, One last thing I want to mention: the costuming, the performances, the sound design, like everything is exemplary. Like they really capture the vibes and the feel of the 60s, and this time they capture the atmosphere with a remarkable authenticity. I think, whether it's leather jackets, vintage motorcycles, the hairstyles of the time, or even accessories that kind of just contribute to this immersive quality. Meanwhile, the soundtrack and the sound mixing, uh, it really, especially like in the scenes where we have multiple writers, like you really get that. There was a moment in the film where I turned around because I heard a noise and it came from the speakers, but I didn't know what was going on. So yeah, all that really enhances the atmosphere of this film. The film just really excels at the depiction of this unique moment in time. And as I mentioned, just whether it's Tom Hardy as Johnny, or or even Austin Butler as Benny, who I think is very restrained throughout the film. We also have Norman Reedus giving us what I would call a really fun cameo type of moment, and then just seeing the rise and fall of this whole endeavor. I think it's really, really interesting all throughout. So, yeah, I really enjoy this film. I don't think it's a perfect film by any means, but I do think it's one, very entertaining. Two, I think it's very well made and very well put together. And if you have an outing to the theater, I think you'll really enjoy this, especially if you're already interested in motorcycle culture, if you're interested in period pieces, or if you just like any of the stellar cast. Like I only named 7 different people. This cast is super stacked with other performances that are just really, really entertaining. So, highly, highly recommend you check this out. There are definitely a lot worse things you could be watching this weekend. I'm looking at you, trigger warning, and I'm talking about the film from Netflix, which we'll also have a review for in the channel. Make sure to go check that out. But yeah, very excited to hear what other people think about this. But as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Let me know what you thought of the Bikeriders. Also, if you go to this film, you get to watch the trailer for Robert Eggers' Nosferatu, which won't be online for a little while. I think it's supposed to be exclusive to the Bikeriders for a few, maybe over the weekend or whatever. So, very excited for that as well. So stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, everyone.